It's so easy to fall into the trap of being like, oh my gosh, the pressure's building. Everything's so stressful, Chen admits. Then he reminds himself, there's a lot more to life. Figure skater Nathan Chen knows better than almost anyone on earth the rush that comes with a perfect quadruple jump, his body spinning 4 times in the air in less than a second before alighting on the ice. And he's just as familiar with the bone-rattling crunch that comes with a fall. Chen experienced both during his Winter Olympic debut in 2018 in South Korea. Then, as now, he was Team USA's skating star and America's best hope for their first individual skating medal in years. Articles frequently cited a nickname, because of his peerless, how does he land them jumps, the Quad King. But Chen fell and then kept falling in his 2018 Olympic events, only to nail a historic 6 quads in his final skate, a performance that nearly got him onto the podium. The failure seemed to confound him. I thought I did everything right going into this, he said at the time. Things just didn't click together. Returning to the Olympic ice on Thursday night Eastern, as the 2022 Winter Games begin in Beijing offers a repeat, a redo, redemption. Related. U.S. skating champs like Nathan Chen and Mariah Bell open up about podium dreams in Olympic prep. Chen, now 22, will first be competing for the U.S. in the men's short program segment of the figure skating team event. Each category, men's, women's, etc., skates twice. In short and long segments, the scores are cumulative. Chen will be the first to tell you that he's exactly the same as that 18-year-old skater from 4 years ago, except in all the key ways that he isn't. I think that looking back in 2018, all I could think about was skating and not being able to, obviously, skate well. So I want to definitely be able to embrace the games in a different way, he tells People Now. For example, I really had a lot of fun at nationals, he says, referring to the US Championships in January. And that's not something that I can definitively say was the truth the past few nationals. Then, as now, he also comes backed by a bevy of big-name sponsors, including the Wells Fargo Active Cash Visa card, whom he seamlessly shouts out for helping with his hobbies, like guitar playing. It's so easy to fall into the trap of being like, oh my gosh, the pressure's building. Everything's so stressful. Everything's so scary, Chen admits. I think that feeling in that way isn't necessarily a bad thing all the time, but just being able to remind yourself like, yes, this is a pretty stressful time, but at the same time, there's a lot more to life. There's so much more than this individual competition, than this one shot. So he tries to remind himself, whenever it is helpful, I'm here. I don't really have that many opportunities to be here. While it may come off that I'm super intense, he notes, a lot of times I'm really just trying to relax and enjoy it, and I'll look up at the rafters, I'll look about at the audience just to see how cool the arena looks, and all these things I think really help me just stay grounded and enjoy the moment more. His life has changed. His skating has changed. The quads are all still there, but that's only part of his path to a medal. Judges also score on artistry and presentation, performance. We need to have the technique, that technical content, but there's so much more to it than just the jumps, Chen says. His team has been continuing to try to push me forward and be more expressive and learn how to be more expressive. The Salt Lake City native and youngest of 5, 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters, also enrolled at Yale University after the last Olympics. There he savored the anonymity of college life as he explored a world away from the rink. You see the same 7, 10 people every single day. And it's awesome. You love these people, you grow really close to these people. You struggle, you have great successes with them, everything, ups and downs with them, Chen told People at the time, adding, but you don't really get to diversify outside of that. He says now, knowing that there's other things out there that I can find passion in and things that I will be able to realize that I have passions for, I think is really good. Because before it was like, okay, skating's it, and then after I'm done skating, then what? What do I have? That's the only thing that I know and love. Is there anything else that I could possibly know and love? But then having school gives me a new opening or a new door. But he never set aside his Olympic ambitions. On leave from Yale, where he is majoring in data science and statistics, Chen aims to experience it to the fullest while I'm there, he says of competing in China. I think being focused is something that I feel like I have to do, Chen says. But at the same time, I think over the past few years, what I've also learned is that in order to have fun, you also have to be relaxed, and sometimes being intense doesn't always lead to being able to enjoy what you do. He'll be in Beijing wearing the mantle of US star, which he says still feels weird to him, even in his second Olympics. Of course, that's been really special to me, but I still view myself as this young kid who's like, hey, I'm coming to the Olympics and this is something that I've dreamed about and don't ever really envision myself as like, oh, this is a household name, he says. Chen is in Beijing with several close friends, including Mariah Bell, the US women's figure skating champion. We've known each other for literally forever, we're pretty silly people when we're around each other, he says. He demurs on questions about his personal life. Ultimately, skating is kind of the main thing right now, so once I have time after these games to sort of figure out what I want in my life, then it'll be a lot easier, and says that he doesn't envision a future where he'll ever be truly disconnected from his sport, though he does want to finish school. Starting Thursday night, he's going to get out on the ice and he's just going to see. He's been skating for 19 years, nearly his whole life. The Olympic podium isn't far away. While we have these opportunities and while we can do these amazing things, he says, let's enjoy as much as we can. To learn more about all the Olympic and Paralympic hopefuls, visit timusa.org. Watch the Winter Olympics, beginning February 3rd, and the Paralympics, beginning March 4th, on NBC.